This is the last game of a chess tournament, and I'm competing for first place and $200. And in this position, my opponent plays b3, which literally just blunders the knight to 95 because I attack the queen and I have a discovered attack on the knight. So he moves his queen away, and I take with the rook, which just traps my knight. If I had taken this with my queen, if he plays f4, now I can bring my knight to d7. Again, in the same game, I play f6, he goes bishop g3, which literally blunders mate. I can take this, and if he takes this, I sacrifice my queen, because if he takes, I mate him on the back rank. But with 5 minutes left on the clock, I play rook a1, which blunders to the tactic of rook e5, and I end up losing a piece. So I ended up losing this game and selling the entire tournament because I was completely winning multiple times, but I just missed the tactic every time. After that, I went on to win this tournament. And then I played a rapid tournament, and the time control was game 24 with 5-second delay. And this was, I haven't analyzed any of the games yet except for this first one, but this was probably the worst tournament performance I've had in a while. But I mean, it's rapid, and I'm either better at blitz or classical, just nothing in between. I hate the in between time controls. Anyways, I open up with c4, and by the way, I'm like about 1800 USCF, and my opponent is 2000. So e4 c5, I play a3, the Mengarini variation, but I'm trying to switch to knight f3 lines. Knight c6, and this is all stuff that I studied. I'm happy when he played d5 because he's playing into exactly what I know. Take, and knight a3 with the idea of playing knight b5 and bishop f4, going for this. This, unfortunately, is a move that I haven't seen before, but I'm just completely doing fine here if I play knight f3, because even though I'm down a pawn, I have good enough compensation with my strong center and developed pieces. But instead, I go for this knight b5 idea, trying to go for this, and it's not bad, but it's not good either. So rook c8 is basically his only option. And wait, Engine is saying I can take this. Why? If he goes here. Oh, wow, this is cool. So I can just win back my pawn here because I can take here. And if he goes here, pinning my rook like this, I can simply go back to b5 because if he takes, I have a royal fork on c7. I literally missed that until 5 seconds ago. I just didn't see that. Anyways. I play bishop f4, which kind of runs into a problem after queen e4. I mean, I calculated this and I thought it was fine after knight e2, and I mean, it really is. Here, I literally just have to play bishop e3 in order to defend this pawn, because even if he plays something like a6, I mean, Engine's saying I can go knight g3, but I guess I can probably, okay, I have to go here first, but yeah, no, because this covers my king, so I can go knight g3 and fork these two pieces. But I missed that, and instead of going to e3, I go to g3, which blunders everything after a6, and he can just take here. It's literally -5 in the first 13 moves of the game. Like, I don't even know how I got into such a bad position. This is just completely hopeless already, because like I mean, I try to go for something. I felt like I wasn't doing too horribly wrong here, but after this rook c8, I just lose all my material. And yeah, I mean, opening was just so bad. I just got out of my theory when he played this bishop f5, but I mean, if I should lose to anyone in the tournament, it should be against the 2000. Anyways, this is a game that kind of made me mad because I was paired against an 800 rated player. That's more than half of my rating. That's like why would you even pair me? I have the black pieces in this game. I go for the French defense, and here everything is fine. I decide to take, and after he takes, he kind of blunders with wait, does he blunder? Okay, I don't care. Knight a3 is fine because I sack the exchange and go for this fork. Now it's -1 because my king is very well positioned. I have easy development and this is a threat. So he goes here trying to win back my knight, but I go bishop e7 and then knight g4 because I am just threatening this, and so he can't easily take back my knight without hanging that. So he plays rook f1. I capture the open file. He takes with the bishop, which allows me to take this pawn. And I mean, like, I'm against an 800 player. This is an easy game. Yeah, I just push my pawn, and you see, because his queenside pawn is very weak, and he has no good way of bringing his king over and defending this. So I just bring my rook, and yeah, pretty easy conversion. He kind of runs into like a bunch of checks with his weak king, but yeah, he just drops the knight, and I win this game pretty easily against an 800, which I'm not too happy I got paired against. This next game, I'm black again, and I'm against a 1400 rated player. So I'm assuming that this is just an easy win. Like, I'm almost 400 points higher rated than this guy. But that's in a different time control, and I decide to go for f5, which is an opening that I only started learning about a week ago. And I probably shouldn't have played this. I probably should have just played c5, which is what I'm most used to and most comfortable with, because f5, there are a lot of complications with my open king and weak e6 square. Anyways, he plays d4 and goes for this kind of like queen's pawn opening structure. And here, I don't know why I didn't just take here and play bishop f5. Like, there's just nothing wrong with this. I don't know why I was scared of this. I instead go knight d7, which allows knight g5, which just completely exploits my weak light squares and forces me to go to f8 to somehow defend e6. But now all my squares around my king are really weak. Yeah, already not doing too good. He goes bishop d3, trying to line up a battery here, potentially sacking here and weakening, just obliterating my king side. I go here, which is kind of a waste of a tempo, because after he goes back, I decide to go back as well, and there's no reason for me to do that. Engine wants me to go here, trade off my light squared bishop for this knight, so I can like try to trade off this knight, and he'll have nowhere else to go. But I don't see that, because I felt like I needed to keep my light squared bishop to defend my light squares, but this knight is really enough to do that. I go, yeah, like I said, I go back, and again, I have this bishop f5, just trading off a light squared bishop. Even though it sacks a pawn, it just gets rid of a lot of the pressure, and now my position is definitely not as bad as before after queen d7. It's still not good though. I play bishop d7, and he decides to go for the sack of knight h7, which immediately is a massive blunder. I'm almost winning here, but I miss the move. So I took like this, but what I should have done is I should have taken with this knight, because after he takes this, I can trade off his light squared bishop and remove one of his attacking pieces. And after king f8, I'm doing completely fine. But I don't take with the right knight. I take with knight 8 takes h7, which kind of runs into bishop g6. Engine is giving a slight edge to white, but not nearly as bad as before. He goes g4, trying to just launch an attack. Engine wants me to play king g8 for some reason, but I go bishop e8, trying to trade off this bishop, and this is bad. This is also bad, because Engine wants me to break open the center, because I'm being attacked on the king side, so I should break open the center to try to get some counterplay. But I kind of forget that principle here. I'm running low on time. I just trade, and I voluntarily walk into this fork because I'm thinking, I don't even know. He sacked a piece, so I guess if I give him an exchange back, then I'll just have 2 pieces for the rook, and I'm fine with that. But he doesn't take the rook yet, and he goes for this, which is slightly more complicated, but I get my rook out of danger, and we simplify pieces, and now material is almost equal. I'm still down a pawn, but this position is just really bad because his king is completely safe. Both of his rooks are connected, and my king is in the middle of nowhere, about to get bombarded by his major pieces. So I try to trade some of his attackers with bishop h6, and he decides to go for that, and then he just drops back. I go queen d7, we trade, and here I think I have like maybe 30 seconds left with 5-second delay, so I have to play very quickly, but there's still a bunch of complications. And I think I stopped notating here, which is why I'm not completely sure about these next couple moves, but I think it went something like this. So he went queen g6, king e6. He gives me a check, I go back, he goes here. I try to kick away his queen, and I have to defend this e7 square, and he trades queens, and this position is equal. But I ended up losing this game because I don't even know how. I know I ran into a fork somewhere along the road, but I just had maybe 10 seconds left here. There's only 5-second delay, so I have to play each move faster than 5 seconds, and I'm not getting any time left. So if he just makes a position tiny bit complicated, I'm forced to spend time on that, and if I don't, I'm just gonna play a bad move and blunder, which is what happened. So I had to play faster here, but there's so much there's so much complications after knight h7. I just spent too much time here, and I didn't even find the right move. Okay, well, this is a 4-game tournament, and oops, this last game it paired me against an unrated player. So I've lost to a 2000, which is understandable, and a 1400, which kind of ruined my day. And then I beat an 800, which if I didn't beat, I would permanently quit chess. And now I'm against an unrated player. So these pairings are kind of goofy. Anyways, I play e4, he goes for the Caro-Kann, and I'm very comfortable with this opening because I know the f3 lines, the fantasy variation, very well. We trade, he goes here, bishop g4, all common stuff. So I go bishop c4, all pretty natural stuff. And here, he blunders. This is such an easy tactic, but he still runs into it. He takes, and it allows bishop f7. I kind of missed the more accurate move, which is knight g5, because what this basically allows me to do is I can take the bishop with my queen. Because what I did knight e5 after he goes back, I can't take this with my queen or else I hang my knight. So I'm forced to take like this, and this just isn't as good, but I mean it's still fine, of course, since his king is wide open and his position is just not very good. Bishop e7 is again another blunder because it allows queen f3, and I don't know really why he did this, but he just gives up a piece. And yeah, I mean, now I converted my advantage into a material advantage, so I'm just trying to trade everything off. And if he has no pieces left, he can't win. So he trades some more, and once we get here, I just force all the major pieces to come off, and completely easy endgame to win. I don't want to talk about this tournament anymore.